Hello, my name is Nick Carroll, and this is my review of the Bose QC15 headphones. As a bit of a disclaimer, I wanted to let you know that I have owned these headphones for approximately 3 or 4 months. I use them fairly often at work when I needed to either study, like watching videos or listening to audio while working, and I don't need distractions around preventing me from focusing, or when doing certain work-related tasks and I needed no distractions, or sometimes I'm just not in the mood for maybe some workplace banter and I just want to focus on what I need to get done for the day or at that time. So that's basically my use case as well as use duration for this. I don't use this for watching a lot of movies or listening to a lot of music for that purpose. If that was the main reason I bought these, I would have probably aimed towards maybe cheaper but more audiophile grade headphones. But the reason I bought this, and the reason why anyone should buy this, especially given the $300 price for it, is because of the active noise canceling properties. That basically paints a cloud over everything else. If there's any sort of strengths or weaknesses, those should all be viewed through the understanding that by and large these are there for active noise canceling, and everything else kind of is secondary to that. So without further ado, let's get to the review. So before I actually get to the headphones, I wanted to point out this is the carrying case that it goes in. You can actually put some things here, but this is the carrying case for it. It's pretty sturdy, as you can hear, which is good. It provides a little bit of added protection for it. I'm going to go ahead and open it and then reveal the headset. So here's the zipper. And I'm going to go ahead and open this up. Here's like the warranty card or whatever, no big deal. Here are the headphones. This is basically why you buy this. So I'm going to put this down for just a moment and again show you the rest of this inside. So this here is where the earphones cover, and then this here is actually removable. And the whole reason why you have this is so that you can put like extra cables in this zipper or extra batteries. So there are actually 2 cables that come with these headphones. One that I commonly use, which is just for your standard audio, and then there is another audio cable that comes in here that has the 3 coils, which is really designed for your, you can use it with like an iPhone or an Android phone or some other phone for audio up and down, and I think a mute button. So that's pretty useful, but I do not currently use it for that. I use it primarily for normal audio. I don't use the microphone headset part of it. There's also an included airplane jack for some airplanes that use this. So, and now getting to these, you can see this is what they look like. Here's the headphones. You can basically extend this out pretty well. I've got a small head, so I actually have it all the way up, and then I put it on like that. So, and then there is a section here at the bottom right here where you insert the audio cable. So let me show you the audio cable. And here's one end here. Here's the other end here. This is what actually goes in. And there's actually, anyways, it plugs in pretty easily. It's pretty standard stuff. You put it in like that, and if you want to eject it, you basically push against that. It's hard to do that and show this, but you basically push against that, and that's what pulls it out. And then this part here goes on the left side, and then the button there to turn it on is there. So anyways, it fits on like this. Looks pretty good. One thing I wanted to mention is the cable to this is actually very long. It's a little tangled right there, but it's like 6 feet long, and for me, I found that very good because it allows me to basically reach a good distance with this cable. And then on this end here, this jack, it actually extends a little bit from here. So if you have a smartphone, for example, you could basically, like for this, I have a little carrying case on my smartphone. There's still plenty of room, and there's some thicker cases like an OtterBox where having an extension, you know, between the edge of the prong to there is needed. So that's a good feature. Now the downside to this cable is that that proprietary end means that if you damage the cable somehow, you have to order a replacement cable through Bose. It's not a standard audio cable on both ends, so that is a little bit discouraging. Now these are over the ear headphones, which means it actually covers the entire ear. It actually feels very good. It has a sort of a pleather or soft leather covering, which actually does not cause a lot of sweat over time that I've noticed. In other words, if you're listening to it for an hour, your ears don't feel like just covered in sweat due to perspiration or whatever. So that's good. It is very comfortable, and there's actually some passive noise canceling simply because it completely covers your ear and muffles a bit of sound. So when you put it on, you can actually get a little bit of passive noise cancellation just from that alone. However, the magic is once you turn that button on, it takes it to a whole new level. What I've done to some friends and co-workers is I've told them, go ahead and put over your ears, and I'm going to go ahead and continue to talk, and then they can kind of hear the volume level of my voice goes down. And then I tell them, okay, now I'm going to turn it on, and I click it on while continuing to talk at the same level, and then the way they hear it is like my voice shuts down. They can kind of barely hear. They hear practically nothing, but their eyes, every one of them, their eyes light up because it's like a whole new world of noise cancellation that they've not experienced before. That's what these bring, and that's what they bring so well. Now the only downside is when you need to have the power on in order to use these. In other words, you can't only use the passive noise cancellation and use these to listen to music or audio. They only work when the power's on. That's a little bit of a downside, but they work so well. Now, continuing on that point about my friends using it just to listen to it, and then I turn it on and the eyes light up for the sheer level of noise cancellation that goes on, and then turn audio on, completely wipes out everything else out. There's no way you can hear anyone. Like an example is like I have a fairly talkative and loud coworker. That's just how it is. Some people are quiet, some people are louder, and he'll basically be doing his thing, and I can basically turn this on, listen to whatever video or music or audio or whatever I'm dealing with, completely wipes it out. Unless he yells, there's no way I can tell that he's doing anything. I can't even feel it, like the audio bouncing off me. These are that good. Now towards the top of the right ear, there is a little bay here that actually houses the battery. You basically open that up and then the battery pops right out. So that's pretty nice. But it's only one AAA battery, but it should work approximately for 35 hours. I've already gone through one, and I think I'm almost through another one here. So, but it holds up pretty well, and it seems like a good week or two of occasional use you can get out of this for up to 35 hours of solid use. One thing I will note is when the audio actually starts to when the battery gets low, the audio starts to cut out just a little bit. So you can kind of tell when it is that you need to replace the battery. It's fairly noticeable. You get inconsistent performance. And in my opinion, in this carrying case that comes with this, when you replace the existing battery here, get another battery and put it in that carrying case so that the next time the battery runs out, you can immediately replace it. Also, the build quality is pretty good with this, particularly with the audio cables. I found, at least in my experience, I've rolled over the cable a handful of times over the last 3+ months at work, and no issues here. The case seems sturdy enough without issue. I mean, obviously this is a expensive consumer product. You don't want to be too casual with it. You know, some reviewers have commented that the build quality isn't that good, but realistically, if you take care of a $300 headphone, it should be fine. If you want to buy $300 highly durable headphones, it's likely it's going to be sacrificing other qualities such as noise cancellation or maybe even audio quality. So you get what you pay for, and what you pay for is high-end audio noise canceling. That's what this is for, not durability or surviving a gunshot or running over it with a truck or whatever. Personally, I like the look of it. Like, I'm going to put it on. You can kind of see how it looks like on my head. And I think it looks just fine. It feels really good. I think it's got an attractive design. I mean, me personally, I would love an all black design. There are other color options out there, but this is like the de facto standard, and it actually looks pretty good. One thing I noticed when using these, when you actually turn the noise canceling on, there becomes like a little bit of a pressure that you can kind of feel on, you know, when you have it on. And actually over about an hour, maybe you don't really notice it anymore, but you notice when you take it off, all of a sudden you hear everything, but there's like a breath of fresh air, you know, for your for your head. So it's kind of a different experience there. This is not something I've experienced with other headphones of other types, and it's just something you get used to or you don't get used to. But for me, I really get used to it, but you know after you've been using this for a while that you have been using it for a while. There's no confusing it. I've tried using these for Google Hangouts, and the experience was not that good. Not because I couldn't hear others, but because I couldn't hear myself. When you turn it on, you can, without even turning the power on, but just putting it on your head, you can kind of feel, you know, what you're saying, and some of that noise is canceled out, and it's kind of distracting. But the instant you turn it on, everything is cut out, and you can no longer hear yourself. So even though you're hearing others in the Hangout, it's really hard to focus. You can't tell if you're speaking too loud or not loud enough, and it's not a good experience. And I've also tried it when using it with my smartphone, and it was the same experience. It was not worthwhile. These are definitely made for listening, in my experience, but not listening and talking at the same time. They will drown you out, and you can only hear yourself through your diaphragm or feel what you're talking about. Oh, and one other thing that I've noticed when listening to these, since they so adequately block out all the noise, you can't hear others behind you whatsoever. So if someone needs to contact you, they have to reach out to you or touch you. And if you're really into something and you can't hear anything, all of a sudden someone's touching you, or they comes next to you and you have to see them, that could be a little startling. So that's kind of a unique aspect to these headphones I had not considered. As far as audio quality, the bass response is really pretty good, and if you've used any sort of like your standard earbuds or earphones or anything like that, I think this is a step above those in terms of like bass quality and responsiveness, that kind of lower level audio. but the mids and highs are definitely much better, and it's a pretty high quality experience. Although I will note, this is like proprietary Bose technology for a standard set of, stereo headphone experience, but there's no like Dolby 5.1 or 7.1 support. This is your standard headphones, and these are not your audiophile grade headphones. Though with respect, if you spend $300 for an audiophile grade headphone with Dolby 7.1 surround, you are not going to be getting active noise cancellation as a prominent feature. You might get passive noise cancellation just because of the quality and construction of the unit, but these are active noise canceling headphones of the highest order, and that's what you're going to get. You're going to get good quality sound for standard stereo, like if you're listening to a smartphone, just your standard experience there, or listening to audio on your desktop computer or notebook or whatever, but it's not the highest grade. But with that said, it sounds pretty good. I listen to a fair bit of music, watch a fair bit of movies, but even more, I do a lot of work, and these do quite an adequate job for all that, for like listening to audio books or watching instructional videos or so forth. And there is a little bit of a sound leakage. So in other words, when you're playing loud music or whatever, a little bit of it kind of leaks out through the headphones even when you're wearing them, but it's not that loud, relatively speaking, unless you're in a completely quiet room and someone's right next to you and you have audio cranked up on here. It's not going to be that noticeable to anyone. So that is pretty much it. These are the Bose QC15 headphones. In my opinion, these are more than well worth the money spent for my personal experience. I love the heck out of these. They've saved me countless hours at work in terms of recovering my own personal time, in terms of studying and focusing on work-related things and getting things that need to be done. And I would buy them again and will continue to use these over time in order to basically to do my job better. Ironically, these are not so much for play but for work. But even then, I've used these intermittently for audio, for just listening to music and just chilling out. Like I'll do housework, for example, and just throw on an album or two and just do a bunch of housework and listen to these, and that's been a good experience. You can drown out the world, not worry about anything, and these are well worth it. So in my opinion, if you want active noise canceling headphones for some reason, any reason, maybe you travel a lot, or you fly and you don't want to listen to others on the plane, or you go on a bus a lot. There's some mild safety concerns in that you can't hear others around you. So like if you're driving, for example, I would not suggest wearing these. If you're walking around on the streets, downtown of your city, this may not be the safest thing for you in that event. If you're a runner or a jogger, you're probably not going to wear headphones like these anyways. But I will just say that if you're generally working around the house, or you're at a desk a lot, or maybe you're reclined in a recliner or in bed watching videos, listening to music, whatever, and you want everything drowned out. Maybe you have a bunch of kids or a lot of family, or maybe loud roommates, or maybe the neighbors are loud. Definitely worth it. So that's been my review of the Bose QC15 headphones. I know it was a little bit long, but I had a lot to say, particularly in terms of my particular use case, but some of the things I've experienced in using these headphones over the last few months. I've gone at least through, offhand I can remember, one full battery using this, but maybe others, and I just haven't been thinking about it. But I've used them dozens of hours, and they're well worth it. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to see more videos from me, you're welcome to subscribe to the channel. If you like this review, you're welcome to like it or comment if you have any constructive criticism, maybe something I should have pointed out. Anyways, have a great day.